2023 and has built a multi-million-dollar global business. And so, I hand it over to these girls. Welcome! Rightio, so we're changing gear from how to talk to people to how to actually show the product. So here you have gorgeous Tina, who is the best trainer because Tina loves to keep it simple. And you have me, who loves to complicate the hell out of everything. So it's really good because I learn a lot from Tina.
I learn a lot from her.
And so together we're going to show you, and so you're going to see two different styles of demonstration. For the sake of time, we're not actually going to do a demonstration. We're just going to talk about some of the aspects that we found has really worked during our presentations as well. So the first thing is, Tina loves to keep it simple, and she can have her whole demonstration. So just before I start, depending on what product lines, we're all going to work with different types of product lines depending on what our experience has been and what our market is. So you need to be able to insert whatever you want to use or what you love into what we're doing. So the principle is the same, the products are going to be different for all of us, and the product's going to be different for each of our customers that we're talking to as well. So that's the other thing. Okay, Tina, show us your little bag.
Okay.
There you go. And also, because I've been on crutches for 8 weeks, I've learned to put all my products in the little blue bag that I can crutch it to my...
and plates.
and plates. I didn't bring a bowl, so I stole a plate. But I've learned that on crutches I can still do my demos by just throwing everything in that little blue bag, and I put it around my neck and crutch her out. So don't think that you can't do demos, and that's what I'm
So even
going to
if
show you.
Even if both legs are broken, you can still do a demo. There's no excuses, okay?
No excuse whatsoever. And so we're going to start with the questions before I go on.
Yes. So it's just to show you, you don't need a lot of products. Now, Tina is hopping around with a small bag. When the product demos I like the best and are most effective for me are actually the one-on-ones. I'm not a fan of, in fact, I nearly didn't join the business because I thought it was party plan, and I thought I had to have a whole lot of people around, provide food, clean my house. That was probably the biggest deterrent. And it all seemed too much. We did go through a phase of trying to do a party system, but for me, I found that people would come for the wrong reasons. They would come to see their friends, they would talk through your presentation, and to me, the whole point of a product demo is how can I help that person? What are they looking for? What do they need? And I can't do that on multiple people. I do find 2 people, mother and daughter, 2 friends, things like that is a really good way to maximise your time, and you can get a good energy. I find if you have too many people, and it's always going to be in a crowd, there's going to be 2 people that are potentially, are you going to be buyers that are really interested? You're always going to have the negative Nancy, and you're always going to have the chatterbox. And so if you've got all that going on in the background, it's really, really hard to manage, I find. And you're going to miss out on those 2 really good people who are genuinely interested in buying. So I much prefer to do 2-on-1s, 1-on-1. And the whole point is I'm looking for a long-term customer for the next 30 years, because the customers I have, a lot of them have been with me for 32 years. And they've been repeat buy. My son's 35. His grade 1 teacher orders every second month and has done since he was 5 years old. That's the sort of customer I want.
That's for business.
But to do that, we have to really connect with them. We have to solve their problems. We have to really service them, and then, then that's your retirement plan, basically. So how do we do that? Basically, it comes back to what we've all been saying today, is find out what people want. So the most important thing of your demo is not what's in the ingredients, not what's, what you know. We've got some incredible science, and I love science. So originally I used to love to tell people all about the science, and they used to probably drop off with boredom, is find out the problem, get them the results that they're looking for. And basically, you don't have to ask for the sale, they'll want it. So the most important thing is have some sort of form or Your Vera app as well is another way. Whatever way you want to find out about that person. Now, what you're looking for. So I use this form, which is an old one that we had. I printed off mainly because it's got the questions that I really like. But design your own, or you can use your Vera app. If you're using your Vera app, it's great because you've got the photos and it's high tech and it's a bit different and people love it. But make sure you don't just give it to them and go, oh, fill this in, and not take notice. So even if they're answering the questions, you need to be standing beside them, asking the questions and looking and seeing what they're saying, okay? Because you need to know. So the things that you really need to know is, first of all, do they have any allergies and you know, things like that. And things like skin type, so you know which products are going to be right for them. But you don't have to be a beauty therapist to know it, because people know their own skin type, but you just need to ask them, what sort of skin do you feel that you have, you know? So they'll tell you. The most important thing, I think, too, is obviously questions of allergy and pregnancy and things like that, just for safety. But then the next thing would be, what products are they currently using? Okay, that's a really important question. Now, you may not know the name of the brand, or they might say Exor or something like that you've never heard of. That's okay, because it's just getting them to talk about it. The most important thing is, why do you like that product? And that's where you start to find the key. When you find out why do you like that product, they're going to tell you what's important to them. Or another question you can ask is, when you're looking at products, what's important to you? So some people might be saying, I want results. Well, which results do you want? Or I want. It's really important that it's naturally based, that it hasn't got all the testing. It's really important to me. Price might be a thing that comes up that's really important to them. Although they don't usually say that, but you by talking to them, you need to know a couple of things. Why they choose the products, what's important to them when they're looking at a product, what sort of user are they? Are they someone that just is really quick, I just want a moisturiser? So if they're just a person that just wants a moisturiser, is not used to serums and gadgets and things like that, if you go into too much detail of that, I still always do a LumiSpa on that sort of person, but if you start talking about there's retinol, there's True Face Essence, and there's all sorts of things, you're going to lose them, okay? You match them where they're at. You've also got to try and work out what price range they're in, so you can match them where they're at. Or you know then you're going to have to be talking about the value of the product. So you're gathering all this information. So on this form it's got, you know, what are you currently using? It actually has, you know, what price range are you, is that in? So you can see, is it $15 or is it $50? Have you ever considered cosmetic treatments? That's another thing, you know. Are they a person that is really investing in how they look? And so if you know that, you know that our devices are going to be something that's going to be really interesting to them. So that's the main thing. Then we have a list of things that we want to find out, you know. Is large pores a concern? Is sagging skin a concern? Is all these things are, you know, what is their main concern? And the good thing about the Vera app is it says, what's your top thing? And I really liked about the Vera app, because I was the one that told them they need to put it in there. What's your main concern? So they'll tick 5 concerns, but what's your main one? So that's the one that you need to be talking about. When you start talking to them then, the whole time, no matter whether you're showing them a LumiSpa, or whether you're talking about a moisturiser, or a serum, you're always going back to those primary products. This product is going to help firm up your jawline. This product is going to help with your pigmentation. You keep coming back to that one thing that you know is their key thing of how. So you're demonstrating how to solve that particular problem. So that's the key. Then when we start, I'm going to hand over to Tina. So once you've got all that information, they've filled in the form or they've done their Vera app, and in your head you need to be connecting the dots and be thinking, okay, this is what's going to suit that person. Then you start with your story, because remember, that is going to be the most influential thing to that person. They They know, like, and trust you. So then you're going to share your story. And in your story, you're going to tailor make it to perhaps if there's a common denominator. Oh yes, I was like you, I was a horse rider T, and I had pigmentation all down here from wearing caps all my life. But that's why I really love these products, because I started using the Boost, and oh my goodness, look at the difference. In fact, have before and after photos on your phone, and if you want to go into boards, there's a whole lot more for and after. Here's my before and after photos. So this is why it's so important to have your own before and after photos. So then I can show her, now that I know what she's really looking for, before and after photos of my story as well. So you start with your story, then something brief about the company. So there's 3 things you can do: story, company, and with the company, you're going to be hitting on, there's different points, you only want it to be very brief, of what's interested to them. If they said they were really interested in natural products or none of the nasties, you're going to tell all the good, none of the bad story. If they're really into science and technology, you're going to talk about the age-lock story. So you're going to tailor-make. You're not going to tell all the stories, which I used to do. All of the good, none of the bad, and we've got age-lock, and we've got scientists, and we've got this, and we've got that, and then they fall asleep. You're going to pick the one story of the company that's relevant to that person. So your story with the product that's relevant to them, company story with the story that's relevant to them. And then I like to talk about devices. Yeah, and then Tina does, and I do this as well. Then you can just introduce why devices are so effective, and how, and the big thing I believe these days is how devices are going to save people lots of money from, they do the same job as the really expensive cosmetic procedures. And the reason I do talk about cosmetic procedures is because, yes, our devices are up in the $300, $400, $500 mark, okay? So people might say that's expensive, right? They're thinking that's expensive. What you're doing by talking about where they fit into the market is they're replacing thousands of dollars treatment. So if you start introducing the devices of these are going to replace the really expensive dermabrasions and all the lasers that you can have and HIFU and all these different things, they're seeing already before you start the value of these products are in the thousands, and they're saving you thousands of dollars. And so when you actually come to the price, and it's, if you're charging retail $410 for Lumista, that's going to seem cheap. So it's the value you put on those devices as to whether people buy them. Okay, so that's what you establish, and so you've set it up before you've even touched them. You've set it up properly, and then the visuals.
I would have probably kept that a bit shorter just before they went to sleep. No. We always I'm just really finding out what their main concern is, and like sometimes I don't even have a lot of products. They come over, and when I find out what the main concern is, then I rush and get what I think. Anyway, but the one thing I say is why the products are different, and explain the difference demonstrated. Alison, if you'd like to hold these up. And quite often I have those on the table and I just keep looking at them and just waiting. But when I started, I had super sensitive skin. In my story, 32 years ago, I used to react to everything. I was so lucky to find a company with a philosophy of all the good, none of the bad. And the reason being is that we hydrate instead of lubricate. So these are actually dried apricots, not body parts. Put in glass bottles. At the same time, this one has our Moisture Mist, which is a humectant-based moisturiser, so it draws moisture and hydrates. This one's in baby oil, which they tell you to put on your baby, and that actually just lubricates. And I say, what sort of skin would you like? Hydrated or lubricated?
And they've been in there the same amount of time, haven't they?
Yeah. So that sort of gets people thinking. And then the other big thing that I explain is that our products are all pH correct. Sometimes I'll do the pH pencil and show, like even the special soap they send home for babies from hospital. It comes up the same pH as Jif that you use on the kitchen bench. Some of the expensive little tiny cleansers that you think you're buying for your teenager, similar. So I sort of do a little bit on that, why our products are different, and then I would go on to, let's do a demonstration and just see what you think. So that's my big thing, is let's see what you think. And we do half face. With the Lumi Spa, Alice, she's going to do the movements. I'm not brilliant. But Alison was sort of saying start with the neck. I like to take a photo first, so that's a really good tip. Take a photo before you start, because otherwise, you know, even though you're saying how does it feel, you want them to be able to see the difference as well. And so, yeah, we haven't got anyone here today to do, but I'll let you talk.
Okay, can you hold that? Just one little trick. Did you know
The 2 holes.
that putting the heads on, there's 2 little holes at the bottom there?
Yeah.
And you need to put them at the bottom and click it on. Don't try and force it on where your brain will go away. Okay, so what I would do you want to sit down? And I'll just pretend you're the client. So I thought you were doing this bit anyway.
I was, but anyway.
She did, when we did this, she didn't have a broken leg.
Anyway.
So Tina starts, so we always do the Lumi, no matter what. I always do the Lumi. No, let me show them how to do it. Oh, and you probably can't see it.
Can't see, so I'll just stand here.
Yeah, okay. All right. I like to do, always remember, here's trick number 2. Always remember which side of the face you did, and always only ever do one side. Never do both sides, because even if they get amazing results, what happens is, and even if they get little results, they will go home and look at it in their mirror, where they're used to seeing themselves. Because you know, your lighting can be a little bit different and that sort of thing. And it'll annoy them because their face is a bit lopsided. And every time they walk past the mirror, they'll look at it. And it's just constantly in their head, okay? So always only just do one side, even if they beg you.
They've got to buy one.
They've got to buy one to get the other side of the face done. Okay, so obviously you're going to have your mirror and your bowl, and the other thing too is when people come in, I don't have a great big product display, I just have it just over in the corner really quietly over there. I sit down and I'm asking them all these questions, and then I bring out what I'm going to, when I've worked out what I'm going to show them, and I'm just going to put it in front of them. So I like to do their faces wet. We always use a lot of NAP7 Moisture Mist, because that helps hydrate the skin as well, but it also keeps it moist. So even though you've got water on their skin, it can sometimes dry out. So we do our Moisture Mist, wash their face. Now a really good thing is sometimes, particularly if I'm seeing beauty therapists who have their own products, I always said bring your cleanser. I want you to bring your cleanser. So if you remember, you can get them to bring their own cleanser, and I go, wash your face like you normally do. And they'll wash your face like they normally do. Then we do the Lumi and say, see? And particularly a lot of beauty therapists, there'll be that much stuff running down the hair, it'll actually be running down, and you go, I thought you said your products worked. Okay, so we're going to mist, and I like to do the neck first, because I actually find that if you actually do the neck and open up all the lymph glands as well, they'll actually get a lift before you even started on their face. So the movements that I would use, and I would do a full 2 minutes doing this, okay, is I start at the jaw and I run it along just gently, slowly to about this point here, hold it there because there's some lymph nodes in there. In behind the ear. Now behind the ear you warm it up a little bit, the lymph area, like doing little half circles like this, and then you bring it down to just where your collarbone is, and hold it there because that actually helps drain, and then back and forth like that. So I'll do that for 2 minutes. Then I'll start on it, and sometimes I can actually see their face lift just doing that. So I'll actually say, even before I started their face, have a look in the mirror. I never say what I see. I always say, what do you see? And when they start going, oh, actually, I can see a lift already, okay? Then the big thing is, how does it feel, okay? Then we do the face, and you probably all know how to do the face, which is I actually start at the top and do the top area, and everything from here goes up. Then when it comes into their under their eyes, I hold it in on the side of their nose there, and very gently just keep bringing it out like windscreen wipers. Now, particularly if they've said they've got sinuses or things like that, it is amazing for cleaning sinuses, or if they've got dark circles under their eyes. It will really, getting that circulation helps those. So then we do this sort of motion, and again I do it towards the end. I actually ask them to pick it up if they're not doing it themselves, and I teach them how to do it, so that if they're going home and looking at their face, they know that it was them that did it, not me. It's not something magic that I did. So I actually like them to use it so that they're familiar with it, that it's not scary as well.
And the other thing is you can actually press
quite hard because you want to get the muscles. It's like going to the gym. You want the muscles vibrating. So you can actually press quite hard and see and feel the muscle moving, and they'll get a better result from that, and go slowly. That was another thing that we learned.
Yeah. Okay. What do you do next?
Okay, well then, we've wiped that off, and it's simple, so I'm going to use the toner, or quite often I'll just do the moisture mist the first time, because in the end I'm wanting to sort of send them home with a package which they can afford, so that's really good to add to the package, so I spray that on. Then I've got the uplifting, the line corrector. Sorry, I had to get a new one. So the line corrector, I'd be doing that, and then the uplifting cream, and in the new sustaining, and I'd do a little bit about how good it is to be with a company that's doing sustainable packaging. And then with the retinol, which I just love, and I'll tell a bit of a story about that and show my before and afters, because just the glow that it gives your skin. And so I talk a little bit about that and say, well, you use it at night time only, and most of my demos are during the day. So I put it on one hand, and I always put it on one hand of my own, and I can see the difference, so I show them that. But let them rub it in, and then just ask them and say, can you see a difference? And they hold both their hands out and they go, oh my God. And they just love the retinol from there.
We do the boost with the boost. Oh, the boost.
The boost is there.
So, the line corrector you using the gun as well, or are you just putting on the things?
The line, well actually, no, I would keep it really simple.
Just your fingers.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So after the Lumistar, we actually, and it depends, you would only show the boost. I always show the boost, every time I show the boost. But generally, unless they said they're a really simple user that would just wants a moisturiser and a cleanser, I won't show the boost. But if they've got any things like pigmentation, firming, dry skin, whatever, I always do the boost. And same thing, same sort of movements as well. I don't do the neck with the boost, I just do the boost. So the same movements that you would do with the Lumistar, which is everything above the eyes goes up, everything from here sweeps through there. And again, I get them to use it themselves so that they can feel it.
And it's probably worth showing them actually how to use it, because I had someone ring the other day and she said, oh, I've got a dud. And so, yeah, it's really important if they're buying the boost to actually go through that they swipe up, so the lights come on, you put your 3 pumps across the head and make sure they cross the blue, put the serum on and then swipe up again, and it'll make a shushing noise.
And if you ever have people say my boost's not working, it's stopping, it's generally because they haven't got enough serum.
I didn't have any serum there, so it was telling me.
But I often have sold it to people, I've explained it to them, and then they go, it's not working. And I just say, it's got to be touching that blue ring, like it's got to be spread all over that inside area and on the blue ring.
And this one to clean, don't put the whole thing in water, just clean the head and either get a paper towel or something and wipe underneath, because it can get clogged underneath the head and then not want to work as well, yes.
And I find with the boost too, like the Lumistar, they can see it straight away, so they've got their own results. With the boost, they're not going to see it straight away. So it's really important that you, is that our timer? It's really important that you that you show pictures. Always have pictures on your phone or pictures wherever you've got pictures. For things like the boost, you've got to be showing pictures. Things like the line corrector, you've got to be showing pictures. Things like uplifting cream, you've got to be showing pictures. Uplifting cream is a good one because you can see it instantly, but the things that you can't see instantly, always have your pictures there.
Tina,
Yeah.
sorry, it's slightly bit out of date. Sorry to interrupt the order, but when you were just doing your order of things, you had the uplifting cream and then you
Yeah,
said
sorry, no,
vegetable.
I just kept it simple, but then we went on to adding the boost. So you do the boost,
Some complicating.
boost and then the
No,
uplifting.
but did you, so you said moisture mist,
Oh, it's just the order of using it, so,
you said it, as part of your demo, you said moisture mist, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
Can I-
you, but
no,
it line correcting.
Okay, so what
Depends on
you
the
cleansing is your Lumi. So your step, and I say to people, this is your step. Cleansing is Lumi. Then, if you're going to be using a treatment device, you then use your boost. Okay. Then you can use your toner. Then whatever moisturisers you're using. Or with the same thing in the boost is any of your retinols or your serums. So your boost is, I consider, a serum. Okay, so it's your serum step.
So you would do retinol after that.
No,
At night time.
actually no, sorry, yeah, I missed that. So your cleanse, tone, boost, or any serum, moisturise, line correct.
So not boost and retinol, too much.
No,
No.
I would never use boost and retinol.
Boost
on
in the
go.
morning, retinol at night.
And if you're doing a demo, never use boost and retinol together. It's too much.
Right, and the original one where you had moisture mist, then you said moisture mist line corrector, moisture mist line corrector, uplifting cream and retinol, you wouldn't use, is retinol in there or?
Retinol only at night.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting it bogged down.
Yeah, and I just do the retinol at the demo. But then to finish off,
I just have a sheet, because quite often it feels really good and, you know, ask how it felt and everything. Would you like results with like this? Yep. So I've done good, better, best, and you can just do up your own little good, better, best. So the first one I've done the Lumi Spa with the free cleanser, and that would be $410, so that would be at retail. But if they want the Lumi Spa collagen pack and the uplifting cream, then I'd let them get the member price, so that would be $359. So the more products you can get people using, the more you'll have loyal customers because they'll get better results. I've also put the Lumi Spa Boost Pack in there, so that gives another option. And then the very best is the Lumi Spa Collagen, the Moisture Mist. Once again, I put that instead of the toner just to keep the pack down. And the Age Lock True Face Bundle with retinol, which gives them line corrector, retinol and uplifting.
love that.
And they save $163. So if you can show them how much they can save, yes, Jodie? Yes, yeah. And I've just tried to put pictures in there, it's all a bit crammed, but anyway.
Yes, good job.
So I do a similar thing, but I do it on an order form. And so I've actually typed in the things that I like, but it's not as nice as good as the best. And I have
No,
you can go. You can go.
No, it's
And
not
I
this
just
one
have-
because it's colored though. You
I
can
have
see
the
it.
steps. So when I finish with the person, I then do like a summary. So I pull out all the things that I've used and I put them in order in front of them. So I'd go, so Tina, today we used the Lumi Spa, and I go through the prices. So the Lumi Spa retails at $410, okay? But then I talk about, and as I said, and you know how you were saying that you were feeling a bit, you know, your skin needed a bit of a glow or life. Whatever they said to me, you can now see how this will help you with that. Put that one down. Then I said, then I did, and I summarised. We did the moisture test, which is going to be a toner, blah, blah, blah. Then we used the boost, and you know how you were saying, it's going to help you with that. So you're reminding them what it's going to do. Then the next step was, so that's your treatment step, the next step was your moisturising, so we used uplifting cream. And remember what we said about the uplifting cream, and it's going to help your skin, blah, 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 whatever she wants. Then the line corrector, you're saying you're starting to get, you know, a bit of crow's feet. Remember we put the line corrector on, that's for your crow's feet. So I summarise everything they did, and I talk about the price, which is already there, but then I go back and say, but if you like the Loomis bar and the Boost, there's this pack. I've got it all written there. That would cost you $768 to buy individually. If you buy the pack, I'm actually going to give it to you at wholesale at 20% off. So your actual discount is $274. Okay, so we've worked out that if you have that already, you can actually help them with that.
But anyway,
Yeah, but did you do a retail?
retail, wholesale.
Yeah. But guys, instead of asking us for our stuff, right? Because our things that we use are going to be different to what we. As business owners, you need to work out what are the products that you like to work with, what are the products that suit your market, what are the packages that are available, and sit down and do the maths and do the sum and do your own order form that you know that you can quickly actually just launch straight into it and show people and have them put it off. Because then it's going to be relevant to you. And unless you do the math yourself, you're just quoting numbers. But when you sat down and worked it out yourself, you go, oh my gosh. You know, and so, you know, we love the True Face bundle with retinol. Half the people don't even know that that exists.
Save a lot of money.
So if you go home and do your own homework and be responsible and do that yourself.
I just want to finish off, the only way you learn is to do it. And so if after this weekend you get to doing your 4 demos a week, and one-on-ones are so easy because you can say, hey, look, I need someone to practice on. It's as hard as it is to invite someone. And then get them over and say, look, I just need to learn. And the more you do it, and the more fun, you've got to have fun if you're having fun. The more fun you have and make it a positive experience for that person, they're going to go away and tell others. And when they've finished, I say, who do you know? When they're saying how beautiful it all is, who do you know that would like to be pampered and feel like this as well?
And the whole time that I'm doing the demo, I'm asking them about themselves and finding out about their job. Are they happy? Do they like it? And the whole way through, I'm just looking for clues. Or maybe they've talked about a daughter or, you know, their sister or something who's recently lost their job or something like this. So the whole time I'm talking about their family and their friends. And then at the end, I will say to them exactly, you know, there's 3 ways you can buy, and I always tell them about the business. So to me, a product demo is actually a business presentation because my very best people and all my key leaders came in through a product demo. So to me, it's not just a product demo, it's actually a business presentation because the products are the business, but if you don't then finish it off with, I just say you can be, you know, a customer, and today I usually give a 10% discount for being a demo discount. You can be a sharer. So if you love this product, Tina, and you think that, you know, people start commenting because they probably will, you know, if you want to start telling people about these products, we can help you earn some extra thank you money. Now you were saying that you're sick of being a teacher, or you're moving around all the time. Would a little bit of extra thank you money help you for sharing something that's really good? And if they start to pick up on that, then I say, or you can actually turn it into a replacement business, like what I'm doing, and join my team because we have so much fun. And I've picked up on what personality she is. She's a fun person. We have so much fun. We go on amazing trips. And so if I talk to her about what I know her personality type is, which is what we're doing tomorrow, I can actually talk to her about the you know, I can start to sow some seeds just from this business. And so often they might take you off at the time, but when they start getting results, they'll come back and say, hey, you're right, I'll be a sharer. Or, you know those trips you were talking about? So always, and then one here, Tina, put your finger on this. Okay guys, that's us.
Ay, nakabili. Hindi na pala